Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be going over the all-new Toyota Sequoia Platinum. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Sequoia. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can see what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Mitch. And then on a side note, if you save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that's paired to a hybrid system and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 437 horsepower and then 583 pound-feet of torque. Before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, just like other Sequoia models, we have the normal Sequoia hood there where it's like flat in the center and then raised on either side. And it of course has the iForce Max badge to let everyone know you got a hybrid. And then popping down below, you guys can see those LED headlamps with the daytime running lights look really good, and they're pretty bright actually. Parking sensors here at the bottom with the bumper, and then notice we also have fog lights, and then everything's kind of like darker here with the Platinum. You do have some chrome trim there around the grille, and if you look really close, you can see that the Toyota logo has some blue on it to signify it's a hybrid. And here's a closer look at that Toyota logo, and then you guys can see the camera below the logo and then the sensor below the camera. And putting it all together, I really like the new front end of the Sequoia. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 265, 60, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the coloration on the wheel. You've got that metallic gray, which I think looks fantastic. We've got these cool chunky body painted fender flares here. We've got the Platinum logo on the side, and then notice stuff like the mirrors and the door handles are body painted. And then when you look at the side profile on this Sequoia Platinum, it's definitely a cool looking SUV. Here's our key fob for the Sequoia. You've got your lock function, your unlock function, and the opening here for the hatch. Nothing happened in there on the back though, but hold that down and it'll pop it right open. Now, popping to the back of the Platinum, we've got some pretty interesting Sequoia quirks. So first off, we have this like minuscule covering here, and it's actually on top of this little basically shelf is the best way to put it, that you can put on these different levels here to kind of change where the loading floor is located for this back portion of the Sequoia, because you guys can see you got the loading floor right there with these seats that do actually move backwards and forwards on the track. You just got to give it a little bit of muscle. So yeah, it's really weird loading floor back here, but anyways, the seats do automatically raise and lower. So if I press this button, it'll raise the seat. It does take a little bit of time, and so yeah, that's the weird back area of the Sequoia, I suppose. Almost forgot, there is an outlet here in the back, and then when you're all done, just press this button here at the top and it'll lower the hatch. You can also do like the kick function where you just like kick your foot underneath to lower it. Now here are the taillights of the Sequoia. Toyota has this new kind of like sequential design with the light animation, which is pretty neat. And then you guys can see everything again is darker here on the back. We've got the parking sensors there at the bottom. And then again, we've got the hybrid Toyota logo, and you've got this little button right here that actually pops the window open so that you can access it that way. And then putting it all together, this Sequoia Platinum looks really good. Aside from the TRD Pro, I think this is my favorite Sequoia in terms of exterior aesthetics. It's kind of like the Batmobile Sequoia. And then popping inside, this is where things get really fancy. So you guys can see we've got a sunshade here for the rear passengers. And then look at like the leather padding all over. This looks really cool. I love the blue stitching. You can see the storage panel itself has tons of storage space as well. And then the seats definitely continue the fun theme with the blue stitching. You guys can see with the leather how it's perforated there in the center portion of the seat. And then you got this little handle right here, which you just got to grab, and it almost did it. It's basically supposed to throw the whole seat up. And with that seat thrown up, you guys can see in the third row, it's decent with the space back here. I've got some cup holders. I've got this for the seat to actually move it. This is for my seat, if you guys are wondering, so I can like recline it and everything. Ooh, whoa. I'm like mega recline mode now. And so I guess in that mega recline mode, I actually have pretty good headroom. This is also interesting. Look, I got a sunshade here in the back as well. And then the last thing, you guys can see you still have the blue stitching here in the rear seats, but they don't have the cool like perforated design like the middle seats. Now as for the middle seat, you guys can see legroom solid. We've got a little storage pocket right here with the stitching that goes across. We have our own climate zone here for the rear, heated and ventilated seats here for the rear as well. We've got some outlets down below that, and I've got my own little like center console type deal. And then headroom's also solid. And then here's our front door panel. You guys can see again with the blue stitching and look at the leather trim as well. Really cool look. We've got all of our window controls here, and then our functions for the mirrors, well, the adjustment, and then the mirrors do power fold in. And the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring on top of that. Memory seat controls as well, and nice door panel. And then taking a look at the front seat, you guys can see again how it's perforated in the center with that cool blue stitching, and then down below. And then notice all of our power adjustments. You got the lumbar there on the side, and then you have more adjustment there for the seat. So lots happening there. We got a bunch of controls in this area. The main stuff that releases your gas cap, that's for your heated steering wheel. That's to turn on the outlet setup. And then you guys can see with the rear collision assistance, turn that off. And then the steering wheel itself is power adjustable. So here's the steering wheel with the Sequoia. We've got really nice leather trim all around. It's actually perforated on the sides and get a slightly better grip. We do have adaptive cruise control as well as like steering assist. We've got volume voice command controls in the steering wheel, so you guys can select volume controls on the other side. We got some controls for the center stack, phone controls, you know, all the normal stuff. And then turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. Now, being the new Sequoia, it has a digital gauge cluster, and I pretty much reviewed every single package on the Sequoia, and all of them have the digital gauge cluster, even the SR5. But anyways, you can scroll through some different menus there in the center, see different bits of info here on the Sequoia. And then we do have some different drive modes too. So we have a normal, sport, and an eco with the Platinum. There is no multi-terrain select because, well, it's a Platinum, folks. It's not an off-road rig, but it still could off-road actually. Now in reverse, you guys can see this has the 360 camera system. So you've got trajectory lines that turn off the steering wheel, you got that bird's eye view, and you can just change the angles to see what you want to see. So really good camera system, not only for parking, but also for doing trailer and towing stuff. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time here with the side is actually really solid, pretty easy to use. And this is basically just like Toyota's smaller infotainment system, but it's just larger, so like stuff like the camera view is bigger. Now the lighting is absolutely horrible, but blue stitching here on the dash, I don't know if it'll show better. Actually down below it actually will. It's just all over. So we've got analog controls for the climate system. Again, dual zone for the front, single zone for the rear. Volume controls, heated and cooled seats. You got a USB there off to the side as well. That's your trailer backup assist, camera view button, and then you guys can see with the stability control, hazard lights as well, and then we've got a bunch of blank switches next to that. Shifter for that 10-speed automatic transmission. It does have a manual shift function. And then in front of it, you got your auto hold and then your parking brake. We've got some cup holders here with this trim that kind of covers it. Wireless phone charging pad. And then we have our drive line select here. So 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then drive mode select with your tow haul mode there off to the side. And then while we're over here, trailer brake controls. Now, you guys can see the center console for the Sequoia. So storage space in here is actually pretty solid. Got some USBs inside of it, and then this does open and close, which is also pretty neat. And glove box, decent storage. You guys already saw the cool design on the dash. Now this of course has Toyota's fancy camera mirror system, and then you guys can see we've got, well, kind of see, we got controls here for the center, full panoramic center here in the Platinum. So here's our window sticker on the Platinum. You guys can see the standard equipment that comes with the Platinum itself. And then notice the base MSRP there, $73,900. There's not a lot of options you can add to it, but I guess the power running board, did this have power running boards? I'm confused. It says power running boards, but there's, oh, they're not popping out for some reason. Weird. Anyways, total MSRP, $77,458. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility here in the Sequoia. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both of the mirrors just do have blind spot monitoring. Then throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, we are taking this back to its parking space. And, well, I guess we will, we'll get slightly creative with today's review here. So I can't take it out onto the road, but what I will say is, oops, I'm making a wrong turn right here. And I'm just going to now have to turn around, and by turning around that means that I have to get on it a little bit. Oh man, that was my foot got a little bit heavy there, but oh perfect, we got this other parking lot right next to us where we can you know, turn around. I guess we'll see the turning radius here. Ah, not enough, I could have probably made it, but I ain't gonna risk it. I ain't gonna send a 70-something thousand Sequoia into a pole. That would be the end of Ben Hardy's career right there. But man, this thing's fast, let me tell you. That accidental slippage of the foot that is accidentally happening yet again. Wow, this thing's fast, holy moly. I love how this drives too. Suspension is actually really good. This makes me really excited for the TRD Pro because this doesn't have, you know, the fancy shocks of the TRD Pro, and so it's not gonna have like the over bump absorption of that, and so that makes me pretty excited to see how that ends up driving. But yeah, slowly getting closer and closer to officially driving a Sequoia. And if you guys are subscribers of the channel, I did talk to Toyota, and it sounds like next year I'll be able to get the TRD Pro, the Sequoia TRD Pro, sent out to Utah. So I don't know when that'll happen, January by the earliest, but you know, it might not happen until February. I understand that's way after a lot of other outlets have had it, but you know, it's better to be late than never, right? But you know, back to this Platinum, I think this is a really good vehicle. Super comfortable, like seat comfort is fantastic. I love this hybrid powertrain, really strong. And I think this might be the Sequoia sweet spot because, just hear me out here. The SR5 like is quite a bit less expensive, but at the same time, it's not really that affordable. And so like, if it were my money, it's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna spend already over $60,000 on a full-size SUV, I might as well spend a little bit more money. And I know it's more than a little bit more, but like a bit more money, get the Platinum that has all of the luxury features. And, you know, because I mean, if you're already spending $60,000, why not just spend $70,000? I know I'm a very bad influence on everyone, but I don't know. I think that that's kind of how the Sequoia lineup fits. Or obviously the TRD Pro, that one's probably also going to be another good one to go for in terms of quote unquote value. If Toyota had made the base model Sequoia less expensive, then, you know, I would have a different opinion. But with how things are priced out, I think that this or maybe a limited would be the sweet spot. But I do like the fact that this is all like blacked out and everything. It looks so cool. Let me know what you guys think about the Platinum. That's kind of something's up with our video on this Sequoia Platinum. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Trailer Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Platinum. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you.